guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal is at the end of this video, you guys will be able to just apply for jobs online left and right. Now if you guys haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I post videos every Sunday about how to work from home and just career tips on how to grow in 2020 and the years beyond. So the funny thing is, I'm kind of an expert when it comes to looking for jobs online because I haven't been an employee with my experience in looking for jobs online in the last 10 years. And I've also been an employer in the last 5 years. I've helped our company hire a lot of people, and now with the outsourcing company, I've been more focused on finding the right people for the clients that we have. So this is something that I'm actually really excited to talk to you guys about, because this is something that not a lot of people really focus on. Is when you're applying for a job online, there are some tricks and tips that you have to keep in mind. And when it comes to applying for a job online, it can be daunting, it can be scary, it can be something that you don't really want to do after 10 minutes of doing it, just because if you don't have the right step-by-step and the right tools, then you can get lost really fast, and something can be overwhelming. And I want to make this clear to you guys today and walk you step by step how to find a job online. Now, when I mean job online, it's something that you guys can do remotely, something you can just do from home, because that is the whole point of this work from home series. Make sure to check out the other videos, by the way, on everything else, because all of it concludes to this. Every other video that I've done, how to find your skills and your niche, how to brand yourself, how to the right tools that you need, this all concludes here right now. So one of the first things that you need when you're trying to find a job online is to have the right mindset. Now, again, what mindset again? I know what you're thinking. Why do you need the right mindset when you're trying to find a job online? It's because you need to learn not to take things personally. You have to think that if they don't reply to you back right away, it's not because you suck. And if they don't hire you, it's not also because you really suck. You might not just be the right person for them, and chances are, and sometimes, they might not be the right person for you. They might not be the match. They might not be the kind of boss or the kind of work times or the kind of flexibility that you want in a lifestyle. So you have to really think about that, of when you're trying to apply online, you're not a kid that is being treated in a different way because you are that way. You are someone who was just trying to find a fit in where you can find yourself in this whole, in this world where you're fitting in their company. And if they're not a right fit, then you look for another one. That's the way that you think about it. You don't really take things as seriously when they give you okay, we can't hire you right now for these reasons, or we feel this position. You don't take that personally, because they're not thinking of it personally for you. Unless you were actually hired, that's when you start thinking like, okay, I want to develop myself, I want to grow myself in this company. But when you're just being, just trying to apply, you're trying looking for a job, then you don't take it personally, because then that's one of the main things that will drag you down. Now, when it comes to mindset, you have to think of it as a numbers game. There's one of the people that you're applying for. There's a lot of different jobs out there, because there are. If you go right now and search for the job description or the skill that you picked in video number 2, then you would find that there's a lot of people who are hiring for you. There's businesses opening and closing every single day. So there will always be an opportunity for you. There's always going to be some person who's looking exactly for you. Now, once you have that mindset, once you have that thinking of, okay, I'm not going to take things personally. This is not something it's not going to be about me. It's just me finding the match for me. The second thing that you need is your resume. It has to reflect who you are and the job that you're applying for. So there will be 3 things that is needed, at least for me, when it comes to having a resume. First is, if you're going to put a picture, put a good picture in it. Not just a selfie of yourself, not a screen capture. I've seen people just take a screen capture of a video of themselves, and that's what they use for their resume. And it has to be like clear. It could be you in a white background. You can literally take a picture of yourself and on a building, and then have it white, and then take a picture like there. You get a proper picture, of like just right there up, just so people know, have a better idea of you. Because if you're going to put a picture, put a good picture on it. So the second one that you need to put in your resume is a clear just background of yourself. So if you're going to put in your school, you want to put in your work experience, of course. You don't really have to put all the awards that you won in the last couple of years, especially in high school and college, unless it's relevant to the job. So you pick and choose, you customize your resume based on who you're applying for. So for example, let's say you are applying for a journalist job. So any awards that you won as a journalist in high school and college, you can put it on there. You don't have to put on there that you won some a creative art award if it's not related to the job. You want to put in awards that actually relate to the job that you're applying for. 3, make it you. Make it something that will reflect who you are. Now, the place that I would recommend if you're trying to write your resume, if you don't have a resume, is just Canva. Now, Canva has a lot of templates that you guys can go through. It has a lot of already built templates, so you guys can customize, can make it your own. You can make it really pretty. You can make it really up to you. Just search resume on Canva, and there's just going to be a lot of templates for you to play with. I love my own resume is built with Canva just because it's really awesome and it's customizable. So I can customate it based on who I'm applying for, who my boss is going to be. So that's what I do on it. Now, with Canva, you can make it really bright and pretty, and you can make it custom for, again, the job that you're applying for. For example, my brother is an upcoming architect, so when he was looking for apprentice jobs, he made his resume really creative, and it's basically just he had his skills, the level of his skills, be different buildings, how tall different buildings are from all over the world, and that was really cute and that was really awesome. And if I was hiring myself for an apprentice for an architect, I would hire him just based on his resume, just because it's really good. That's an exaggeration, but what you present. Remember in the branding video that your branding is what you show to other people. It's what you present online or what you present to your employees. So you really keep that in mind. Now, once you have your resume, number 3 thing that you need is just your application letter. Now, your application letter has to be not generic. If you're trying to apply, you want to find different unique things about their company that you can put into your application letter. Don't make it really generic. I've seen so many people, and that's just a pet peeve for me. I've seen so many people where they don't have an application letter at all. They just put in their resume, and that is such a bad practice. Please put in an application letter so I can get to know you a little bit better. So your application letter is usually has something to do with your background of why you're a fit for this job, and what are the things that you hope for, what is something you hope for when you're applying for this job, and the best ways to reach you. So those are the 3 main things of an application letter, at least for me, is because you're when you're writing your application letter, you are writing a reply to the job ad. Now, I've actually made already a video on this, on how to write application letters, so I won't go into it as much, but that's basically what an application letter should be. As someone who hires a lot online, these are the things that are really important when you're trying to show up, when you really want to get a job, especially if it's your dream job, then you want to put in that extra effort. 4th thing is then you have to apply. So I'm going to go into my computer. I'm going to show you guys step by step how I would go through and apply, and the places that I would apply in. So there are basically 2 main places that I would apply in if I was going to search for a side gig or work online. It would be Onlinejobs.ph and then Facebook. Facebook has become a big marketplace, and I'll show you guys how and where to look for the jobs on Facebook. But it's just been one of the best ways and easiest ways for entrepreneurs to find jobs is posting on Facebook, because it becomes, people can share, people can refer people, and that's just one of the fastest ways. So I'm going to zoom into my computer right now. Okay, so I made a really straightforward spreadsheet for you guys right here. So basically, you want to take note of the job site. So what is the main job site that you guys went through, so you guys can categorize where you applied from, so you make sure that you don't double apply for different jobs, because one of the things that employers tend to do is they repost their job ad after a few days. So that's what I do within our company. We actually repost our job ad every 3 days, because then Onlinejobs.ph is always updating on every day, so it always is going to be recent posts. So if we really urgently need to hire someone, we have to repost every 3 days. So this is just a tracker for you guys to make sure that you don't apply for the same job over and over again. So for example, job site. So for this one, we're going to put Onlinejobs.ph, because that is the main job site. Onlinejobs.ph. Okay, so now we're going to go through all of the job ads right here and go through like which ones would be interested in. So for example, for the psychology content writer, and I'm going to do this really fast for you guys, because I actually don't want to apply for an online job. I'm actually not gonna click apply. I'm just showing you guys how I would do it if I was gonna do it all over again. So for this one, so I would just easily, if this was something, of course, I'll read through the job overview, and if this is something that I would be interested, I'd throw it into the sheet. So for example, for this one, so you have to really read the job ad. That's a really important thing of like reading the job ad, going through it, because then they might put in a few instructions that you have to do to make sure that you actually read it. So for example, for us, the way that we have our job ad set up is that they have to have a specific subject line put on it to make sure that I will read it. Because if they don't have the specific subject line, I will actually just archive or delete that email out of my inbox. So I have to make sure that they actually read the whole thing. So read through it, make sure that you understand what it is that needs to be done. And if you're like, for example, for me, I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. This is something I want to do. So I'll just copy it over and then paste it into the spreadsheet, link to job post, contact person. So he said right here that they're right there. Company name is Crisis Buddy. So I'm going to look for Crisis Buddy on Google. That's the easiest way to know who we're talking about, who we're talking with. And this is just them. And if you can find any contact information from them, then that's awesome. So for example, for me, I found it right here. But then, you know, we're not sure if this is the actual main people or this is just, you know, the app developers. So I'm actually going to open their website so I can find out more about them. Now, this is if in the ad right here, if they don't have the contact person. Usually sometimes they put in their contact email and then the contact person, but if they don't, then you do the search and you actually find them and try to look for them, who they are. So this is their website, going through it, like, oh, okay, so this is what they do. So when you research, when you give in that extra effort of finding out who they are, it shows. So for example, for me, I'll copy that. That's just the contact email. But then again, usually they do already put like who to contact. But with Onlinejobs.ph, you don't actually have to really take note of their email address, because when you click apply for this job, this already is sent to their email address. So you don't really have to. You just have to make sure that you have the subject line and the right message. So you just, again, read through their job ad, make sure there's not anything that they require you to submit once you're applying. With Onlinejobs.ph, you don't have to look for the contact person. You don't have to look for the email address because it's automatically sent to their Gmail account or their email account. But in general, you just want to take note of who you're talking to and who it is. So for this one, since we can't find any of their contact information, I will just put in the email there. I don't know who the contact person is. And then I would put the date that I applied for the job. So if today is 3/21, then I'm going to put 3/21. And then I'm actually going to put in the date 3 days later of when I want to follow up if they haven't followed up with me yet. So I'm going to put just make it 25, just make it 4 days, because it's a weekend, you know, give time for them to get back to me. And then status. Now, status is, I'm going to put it right here for you guys so you can understand as I go through it. So status is, for example, for this one, and you guys can color this in different ways. That's one of the things that I also do for myself. So anything that was just done, I put color green, and then anything that I'm waiting on. So I'm waiting for the test. I'm waiting for, okay, so this is green. Hired is, of course, then I would make hired actually like blue because it's a different color. Like, oh yay, I got it, I got a job. Not accepted, and then not accepted would be red, just because it's sad. You know, follow up sent, then that's waiting because you're just waiting for them. And then I didn't like, of course, that would be red. So for example, for this one, I just sent the application. Let's say I did send an application, then I would just put application sent. And then you just kind of go through all of this. So if any of these like interest me more, then I would go through this list and actually build up the list on the sheet. Again, this way I am tracking who I'm talking to, and then I don't lose any applications, because one of the things that people don't do is actually track where they applied and then follow up. Most of the time, your application actually does get lost in the mail, or it never actually reached them because it was sadly automatically spam. So when you send a follow-up, it makes it into a stronger message that you are actually looking and you're actually proactive about finding a job online. The other places that you can find jobs for is going on Facebook groups. That's one thing that a lot of people really know, that you can just search jobs on groups. A lot of people who are in groups know that, like, hey, I can expect this. But for example, there is there's a lot of different Facebook groups. For example, your niche is you want to help women entrepreneurs. So you search women entrepreneurs. So I already know this Facebook group and I love them. If you're a woman, you can go on here and then try searching for jobs here. Search this group, hiring. That's literally it. Then you can find a lot of people who have posted like, hey, I'm hiring this. Hey, I need, I'm thinking about hiring a VA for 5 to 10 hours a week. Would you consider, you can keep looking at like, hey, I'm hiring this person. You can search VA if you want to be a VA. If you can search like writer if you want to be a writer. So it's filtering and finding that a lot of people are looking for you. A lot of people are looking for the type of service that exactly the type of service that you want. So for example, need fresh female writer contact for our blog. So looking to meet writers. Do we have any writers in the group? Because then these are people who are actively looking for you, or who just want to connect, and we can refer people to you. That's just awesome. So you're just growing this, like, oh, this person's actually a writer, because every time you comment over and over again, people will see you, oh, this person's a writer. Yeah, if I'm looking for a writer, this is the person for me. Awesome reminder, I found my first job on a Facebook group. I was just on a Facebook group for bloggers, and I wasn't even looking for a job online. I was just posting as a blogger, and someone commented and said, hey, I want to hire a ghostwriter. Will you be interested? That's actually how I found my first job. So never underestimate the power of Facebook groups. And then once you have this, do the same thing on the spreadsheet. So here you would say Facebook groups, or if you found in a marketplace, and that's another job site. So you want to separate out where you send applications that's why it's easier for you. So link the job post. So for example, let's say this one. You just click this, and then usually you can grab the link for it. And if you can't, then you can just link the actual group that you got it from. Right there, you can click to post, contact person, so whoever it was that was looking. So I would put like, and then if they sent you an email, then you send your application through email. Then sometimes you just apply outright on Facebook. You just send them like your details on Facebook, and they'll email you back. So it's different for every person, but that's another place that you can find a job online. Other places is just Google, writing jobs. And this is just another place that you can start looking for jobs. There's like just so many websites out there, but my two main ones is just going to be Onlinejobs.ph and Facebook, because those are the main places that I have found work from. There's Upwork, there's a lot of other job sites you can try, but this sheet right here can help you keep track of who you apply for and who else you want to kind of follow up with, where you're at on that job of looking for that job, because it's easier for you to be up one level. Because again, not a lot of people do tracking. Not a lot of people think of making sure that they followed up, making sure that they show up again on that person's inbox. Because you could have been and this has happened sadly for me, where I opened up an email of someone who applied, and then I had to rush somewhere else, so I accidentally closed that email, and then it was marked unread already, so they won't pop up in my email anymore. In my inbox anymore. So just keep that in mind. Just follow up. Just ask, like, hey, are you still hiring? Hey, is this something that you guys still want to do? Hey, I'm actually looking for a job. And that's like just one easy way to find jobs really fast, is just following up with people and making sure that they see you. And then tracking. Again, tracking yourself is just one of the easiest things. Again, keep in mind that this is just a numbers game. So yeah, that's how like you can find jobs online. Just search using your job description that you want. Search it on Google. You can search it on Onlinejobs.ph. You can search it on Facebook, because that's another place that you can find jobs, because a lot of people just want recommendations, or people can just want referrals. So that's just one of the places that you can find a job. So again, when it comes to tracking, I put in the link below of where you can download the spreadsheet, so you can make a copy for yourself and then start tracking and start looking for jobs online. Okay, so as I said earlier, you have to track, and that's actually step 5 is to track. Make sure that you do follow up. Make sure that you are going through the application process, and if they fall off, if they don't reply at all, then you can mark as, I didn't like. You just have to go through. Again, this is a numbers game. You're not taking this personally. You're not taking this as, if they don't reply to you, then it's because they don't like you at all. It's because you just weren't the right fit. Because as someone who's hired people before, I always try to see if the person is a good fit. If I was hiring a book editor for the publishing company, it's not enough that they have the right skills. They also have the right attitudes. That's why I talk to them. That's why I do the interviews with them, because I want to see if they will actually be a fit for the company. You're looking for people that you can fit with. You're not just looking for a job. You're looking for some people that you work with day in and day out, for however many hours a week, and you want to make sure that you are a match. I really want to emphasize how important it is for you to track and make sure that you are following up with the people, especially the jobs that you really like, because then they can see that you're proactive, you're someone who really wants this job, you're someone who will do things outside of the box, thinking outside of the box just to get this job. And it shows you, because the thing that not a lot of people realize, if you're applying, it's actually a test run of how you guys are working together. So when you guys are tracking, when you're replying right away, that shows them that when you guys get the job, you're going to be replying right away. You're going to follow up with them. You're going to make sure that things get done. That also is just an advantage for you. Applying for a job is scary. It is something that it's not the best thing to go through. It's especially if maybe you got laid off or you really, really need to find a job. It's something that can be disheartening and something that can be overwhelming when you don't have the right steps. And I'm hoping that with the steps that I just laid out for you guys, that it would be much easier for you to find a job online. In the next video, I will be talking about how you can sustain this lifestyle of being able to work online. I'm going to talk about the habits that you need to form, and I'll talk about systems of how you can grow, and then I'm going to teach you guys a trick to even start hiring people for your agency if that's something you want to move towards. Now, I post every Sunday, to make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you guys can know when I post my next video. Now, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember that small steps matters. I'll see you in the next video.